If we just talk in, the political sum of this, it doesn't mean it's a big win for Joe Biden, because a lot of these individuals would be very critical of the way the Biden administration has not, for example, endorsed Palestinian statehood at the UN, for example.
Well, yeah, I mean, in fact, this is a huge problem. The Democrats have two problems. Number one, sort of like a bigger version of what Labor has to deal with in Australia. Number one, the Muslim vote, especially in states like Michigan, where they're quite critical, is quite upset that the Biden administration has any support at all for Israel. And I think Biden, historically, in his career, has been kind of an old school Democrat where there was at least a tacit amount of support for Israel. But the new generation, they really want to see Israel fail. They want to see it fall. A lot of these demonstrators were being cheered on the October 7th massacres, as ghoulish and grisly as that is to say. They're furious at Biden. They'll stay home. They won't vote for Joe Biden. They might not vote for Trump either. But in a country like America, where turnout is key and where the Democrats have always had these huge get-out-the-vote efforts among young people, my sources are telling me that they're really wary of going and knocking on doors on campus and saying, hey, come on, vote Democrats, because they're going to cop an earful about Palestine.
And let's look at something else I flagged earlier, and that is the Trump hush money trial. What's your take on that? What are the implications of this as it's unfolding, and the potential for this to cause trouble for the presumptive Republican nominee?
I think the Trump trial on this whole hush money thing, this is basically like a fairy tale that the left and the Trump derangement syndrome people tell themselves, about how they're going to finally get the orange man. I don't think it has a lot of difference or makes a lot of difference, because I think most people here are looking at this and they're like, so Trump, who never put himself out there as kind of this arbiter of morality or anything like that, has maybe tried to cover up an affair, big deal. I mean, Bill Clinton, if you've got a long enough memory on this sort of thing, they called them bimbo eruptions during the 1992 campaign, and they were constantly squelching rumors and claims that Bill Clinton had affairs with this woman or that woman and everything like that. And people like George Stephanopoulos, who's now a big-time media contributor in the U.S., he cut his teeth on the Clinton campaign doing precisely what Trump is accused of. And I mean, more recently, this idea of, using money to influence things one way or the other. Well, the Hillary campaign settled for, I think, $120,000, a claim that they used their own campaign money to pay for the Steele dossier, which started the Russia hoax, which was arguably a much bigger interference in American electoral processes. So this case is so confected. It's a misdemeanor at most that they've spun into 34, I think, felony charges. Now, of course, it's a New York courtroom, and the judge seems to have it in for Trump, and the jury probably does too. So kind of anything is possible as far as that's concerned. But politically, I don't think that it really does a lot to Trump.
James Morrow, appreciate it. I look forward to the US report tomorrow night, as always. Thanks.
See you, Kieran.